You've probably heard people say cats don't really care, that they're too independent, too indifferent, that if you disappeared tomorrow your cat would barely notice. But what if that's completely wrong? What if your cat is capable of something much deeper than we ever gave them credit for? Memory that lasts years, grief that mirrors our own, and a bond that doesn't just disappear when you're gone. Today we're going deep into the science of how cats remember, how they grieve, and what really happens inside that mysterious mind when someone they love is no longer there. Let's start with what we actually know about cat memory, because the answer is more impressive than most people expect. Cats have both short-term and long-term memory, just like dogs and humans. Their short-term memory can hold detailed information for up to 16 hours, but it's their long-term memory that's the real story. Memory in cats originates in an area of the brain called the hippocampus, the same structure responsible for memory formation in humans. And here's where it gets fascinating. Cats use what's called episodic memory, the ability to recall specific events. This is the same type of memory that allows them to remember meeting a new family member after adoption, or to carry the emotional weight of a traumatic experience from years before. But how cats remember people is different from how we might expect. They don't rely primarily on your face or how you look. They remember you through a layered combination of your smell, your voice, your touch, and the routines you shared together. This is why a cat can recognize someone they haven't seen in years, not because they see you walk through the door, but because they smell you, hear you, and every sensory memory tied to you lights up at once. Research confirms that a cat can recognize its owner even after a decade apart. 10 years. That's not selective memory. That's a genuine, lasting imprint. So cats remember, but do they grieve? This is where science has really started to catch up with what cat owners have always suspected. Researchers from Oakland University surveyed hundreds of cat owners and found that cats showed grief-associated behaviors, like eating less, playing less, more often after the loss of a companion, suggesting something that looks a lot like mourning. In a study of 452 cats, many showed signs of distress following a loss, increased vocalizing, reduced appetite, seeking more attention. And the key finding? The stronger the bond, the deeper the grief. Sound familiar? Now here's what the grieving process actually looks like in cats. Experts describe 3 stages. The first, a searching phase. The cat vocalizes more, paces, and actively looks for the person or animal who is gone. The second, withdrawal. Depression sets in. The cat becomes quieter, more distant. The third, acceptance. And this is often where something unexpected happens. The cat may actually become more affectionate, more open, with the people who remain. Most cats move through the acute grief within 2 months. And by around 6 months, most have adapted to their new normal. But, and this is important, adapting is not the same as forgetting. A cat learning to live without someone is not a cat who has erased that person from memory. The behavioral grief resolves. The memory does not. There's something deeply moving about this when you sit with it. Researchers compare a cat's attachment to its owner to the bond between an infant and a caregiver. A need for proximity, a felt sense of safety, and real stress when that safety is gone. When a bonded person disappears, a cat may keep waiting, still watching the door, still listening for a familiar sound, not fully understanding that the person isn't coming back. That's not indifference. That's loyalty, in the language of a species that can't tell you how it feels. And for those of you who've lost a cat, had to rehome one, or been away for a long stretch of time, know this. If the bond was real, the memory is real. Your cat didn't forget. Your cat adapted. Those are 2 very different things. Cats are not the cold, unfeeling creatures that old stereotypes painted them to be. They remember deeply. They bond genuinely. And when someone they love disappears, they feel it. Science is still catching up to what cat owners have always known. If this video meant something to you, share it with someone who loves their cat. And if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next.